The one thing that I know for sure, that I've been a part of two teams that's won the two hardest championships in NBA league history. The 2016 Cavs coming back from 3-1 versus 73-9 team, being down 3-1 versus one of the best teams that ever been assembled.
Two-time MVP.
Two-time MVP. And then what we went through in the bubble.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, back again. Marlo knows basketball and Marlo knows boxing. Back at y'all with another one. The Bron-sexuals all got their panties in a bunch. They are all crying, and it's all because of one man who came out this week and said what everybody has been saying for the last 5 years. Daryl Morey, of course, the GM for the 76ers, former GM of the Houston Rockets, came out and said everybody that he speaks to around the league privately agrees that the bubble 2020 championship does not hold up as a genuine championship. There's an asterisk on it. And he's absolutely correct. And the leader of the LeBron Justice League, Nick Wright, has been crying for the last few days trying to defend his baby daddy, LeBron James. And even Uncle Shay Shay, with all he's going through, being sued left and right, paying $25,000 a cheek. He's even finding time with all his mess going on to go on Nightcap and cry about how LeBron's championship in 2020 was legitimate. But the fact is, Daryl Morey is not the first person to say this. Everybody has been saying it. Even LeBron's teammate on that 2020 bubble championship, Alex Caruso, even he says it's not a real championship.
A championship is a championship, but there were 70 people in the gym when you won your first one.
Yeah.
How much better?
Probably like 150, but
maybe 100, maybe even 200. But
maybe.
How much better does this one feel?
Yeah, now I got a real one. Now nobody can say anything.
Even players that were on that 2020 Lakers team that won the bubble ring with LeBron, even some of them are saying it wasn't a real championship. Even some of them are saying it's an asterisk on it. Because there is. That season was not a normal season. Before the playoffs starts, normally teams have about a week before the playoffs start. A week of a break. Before the 2020 playoffs, they got 4 months, over 4 months, almost 5 months of a break before the playoffs started. Everybody was completely fresh. And that may not have benefited LeBron that much. You know, LeBron throughout his career, he's always been healthy. He hardly ever gets injured for some reason.
He was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real. like legit was on steroids, bro. Allegedly. But
you know, players that played in the league might speculate on why LeBron James has never been injured in his whole 25-year career, but that's neither here nor there. The player that benefited from that almost 5-month break in 2020 the most in the NBA was Anthony Davis. Of course, Anthony Davis, the most injury-prone player probably in NBA history. If not, he's at least top 5, a top 5 most injury-prone player that we've ever seen. He always gets injured every single season, but he didn't have to worry about that in the 2020 season because he got a 4, almost 5-month break before the playoffs started. And the next season in 2021, it was very evident how much that long break helped Anthony Davis. Of course, in the 2021 playoffs, Anthony Davis got injured in the first round of the playoffs and couldn't continue. And the Lakers ended up losing to Phoenix. So in my opinion, there's no telling. There's a 50-50 chance, probably 75-25% chance that Anthony Davis would have got injured the same way he got injured in 2021 and every other season that he's played in his career almost. Anthony Davis, of course, can't stay healthy. Charles Barkley used to call him street clothes. So with that huge advantage that long break in 2020, what it gave to Anthony Davis, I think that's part of the reason why there should be an asterisk on that championship. There's no telling if Anthony Davis stays healthy if they don't get that break. And the biggest reason for me, it really doesn't even have to do with the break. It has to do with who they played in the NBA playoffs. The best team that they beat that year was a young upstart Denver Nuggets team where Nikola Jokic wasn't even the best player on the team at that time. Nikola Jokic did not become the Nikola Jokic that we know today as the best player in the league. He was a couple of years away from that. During that time, to me, it appeared that Jamal Murray was the best player on the Nuggets team. Of course, during that bubble playoff run, Jamal Murray had multiple 50-point games during that run. And to me, he looked like the best player. And that was literally the best team that they played. Once they got to the NBA Finals, they got to play the Jimmy Butler Miami Heat. And it's very interesting that LeBron fans love to talk trash and crap all over Michael Jordan's competition that he played against in the 90s. When Clyde Drexler, a player like Clyde Drexler, who Michael Jordan beat in the 1992 NBA Finals, he was a better player than Jimmy Butler. And it's really not all that close. Clyde Drexler, of course, is a top 75 player. He made the top 75. Jimmy Butler is not even a top 75 player. And when you talk about players that got snubbed from the top 75 list, he hardly ever comes up. Most of the time you hear Kyrie Irving, you hear Dwight Howard, you hear Tracy McGrady, you hear Klay Thompson. You don't ever hear Jimmy Butler's name coming up in those arguments. He didn't make top 75, and not many people think he should have. LeBron fans love to talk about competition. Well, when it comes to Clyde Drexler versus Jimmy Butler, Clyde Drexler averaged more points than Jimmy Butler. He averaged more rebounds than Jimmy Butler, more assists, more steals, and more blocks. Just thoroughly dominating in this comparison here. If you want to compare LeBron's competition to Michael Jordan's competition. That's one of the main reasons that bubble championship to me is not impressive. LeBron says it's one of the 2 hardest championships ever to win. Bro, you played against Jimmy Butler's Miami Heat in the NBA Finals. That was a weaker team than any of the 6 teams that Michael Jordan beat in the NBA Finals. But the part that's confusing me is LeBron and his fans are crying about people saying that bubble championship is not a legitimate championship and it has an asterisk over it. They're crying crocodile tears about this whole thing. But just a couple of weeks ago, they were just saying, LeBron and his fans were just saying that rings don't matter. They were talking about how they don't understand ring culture and rings don't make you better and rings don't count. Rings don't matter. It's a team accomplishment, right? It's just a team accomplishment. So if it's just a team accomplishment, why y'all care so much? Why? Why does it matter if it's an asterisk over it? It doesn't count, right? LeBron and his fans and Clutch Sports and Nick Wright and Shannon Sharp and all of these bronze sexuals, just like usual, are walking contradictions, talking out of both sides of their mouth. And this is just this whole bubble ring, crying about having an asterisk over the bubble ring. LeBron and his fans contradicting themselves, just like usual.
Now, Dustin Nielsen, why is ring culture so much more prevalent in the NBA than in other sports? I wish we had a simple answer. Right?
Oh my goodness, I do not know the answer. I wish I had the answer to this, but I'm not sure, man. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's discussed so much in our sport, and why it's the A-all, B-all of everything. Like, okay, you weren't a great player if you never won a championship. Yeah. It's like that one right there made me the greatest player of all time.
For so many reasons.
I was super, super ecstatic to win one for Cleveland because of the 52-year drought. Like, I was ecstatic. Like, obviously, I showed that the first wave of emotion was when everyone saw me crying. Like, that was all for 52 years. Everything in sports was going on in Cleveland. And then after I stopped, I was like, that one right there made you the greatest player of all time.